Well, welcome back to another episode of Lorcana Chats. My name is Chris, aka Questing for Lore, and in today's episode, I sat down with well known Lorcana content creators, competitive players, and all around amazing folks, Patrick and Monica, otherwise known as LorcanaDuo. We talked about how they got to this point in their Lorcana journey, with documenting their life through their content, and, of course, Monica's amazing run at the DLC Milwaukee, making it into the top 16. Sound like fun? Let's get to it. Well, hey, Patrick. Hey, Monica. How's it going?
We're good. Thanks for having us, Chris. It's good
Yeah,
to be
thanks.
here.
Thanks for being on. I appreciate it. I know we are post DLC Milwaukee, and we'll get to all the stuff that happened, at that event a little bit later on. But so one of the first things that I like to do is kind of get the origin story of the people that I talk to. Like, when did you come to Lorcana? How did you find out about it? Have you played other TCGs? All that kind of good stuff.
Sure. Yeah. So I think we'll start off where we entered into Lorcana, which was at the tail end of the first chapter and right at the beginning of Rise of the Floodborn.
Okay.
I was going through, I think, Polygon.com, and they had an article that Lorcana's second set is coming out, and it's called Rise of the Floodborn, and their cover photo was Christopher Robin, like standing there. I was like, Rise of the Floodborn sounds really intense, and they have this little guy, Christopher Robin, and Winnie Pooh just standing there. This is really interesting. So I brought it up to Monica, and then what did you think about it?
I started seeing a bunch of Reddit posts about it. Wasn't sure what it was, but then when Patrick mentioned it, I was like, oh yeah, I've seen a couple things about it. And then I looked up Rise of the Floodborn and I saw Pooh Honey Wizard Mat, and I
Yeah.
was like, I need to play this game to justify getting this mat. So I was like, I'm now full in. Patrick acknowledged this game, so I think that's a green light to like just go head first in.
Oh, yeah.
Um, and then I think that same day, even like I went out and bought packs.
Yeah, and it was at the tail end of the first chapter.
Hmm.
The There was not a lot of product available around. So I think Monica was calling up a bunch of game
Yeah,
stores, hobby stores, asking if they have product. And the ones that said yes, she went over there. And we didn't know how much MSRP was, but Monica went and bought
yeah.
it anyway.
The
Yeah.
inexperience very much showed. I was like, why is everyone like sold out? Like this place has a lot of them. It's like didn't think twice. And then I was like, oh, these packs are kind of expensive, but I'll like get the first chapter mat, which I think was like
Hmm.
68, 70 bucks, which was this just shows how much I kind of got I paid too much for first chapter, but we
Yeah.
didn't.
There's some people that paid quite a bit more than that, I have to say, that I've heard. So, yeah, count
Yeah.
yourself lucky it was only that much marked up. But anyway,
Mm-hmm.
sorry. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Oh no, yeah. So I came home and I was like, yeah, it was pretty easy to find packs. And then so we paid. I guess at that point, Pack Rush didn't exist, but it was really Pack Rush because we only had like 4 or 5 packs to
Hmm.
like play and try to figure out this game. But yeah, that's kind of where we started. And then when Floodborne came out, we realized, oh, it's only $5 a pack, or like 6, 7.
It's like, this is way more affordable now. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And
Rel-
then I eventually
for
got like
relative
100.
definitions of affordable, of course, it still
Yeah,
Yeah.
takes up
The
entirely
only
too much of
thing,
our money, right?
definitely. The only thing we had to do was line up like super early at Best Buy and go to downtown Disney to
Mm-hmm.
buy get the packs. But it was worth it. We had fun, and even in the lines, we started making friends and recognizing people from the stores we were visiting. So just from going and buying the product, we started like being introduced more and more to the community.
Nice. Nice. So, how long was it before that y'all actually felt comfortable and you had the product and everything, where you could go to like an LGS and there was one that was close by that was actually hosting, Lorcana League or something?
yeah. So we actually have like I would say like 3 stores around us that had League pretty consistently at the time.
Hmm, okay.
Um, there's one store called Fire and Dice, which is our like store now. Sorry, our
Hmm.
dog's like itching himself. But we it took a while for us to get to that store because when we went, it felt like a much more competitive scene, even though it wasn't as
Hmm.
big as the other two local stores that are more like casual. It was just more tournament based, so playing 3 rounds back to back was just like intimidating. But at least at the time, I think Lorcana had like the league where you had like, theme points and things like that. So we
Yep.
got drawn toward that type of league. And um, it was pretty much like off the bat, like, they kind of encouraged uh, product to go to local players. So in order to get the product, you would have to like participate in league.
That's
So
good.
that kind of was a way for us to get like involved right off the back.
Yeah, no, that's actually really good. I don't live in a very large town, large city area, but even we have problems with scalpers. They'll just come in and they'll
Mhm.
just buy it all up. They'll spend $3,000 buying the product, and the people that actually want to play can't get it. So
Yeah.
that's good. That's a great way to do it. We've got one of our LGSs, I guess the LGS that we have. They kind of prioritize that too, right? They don't like just buy the product and then have it there and then us coming, buy it. They do all the pre-orders. They pre-order, just enough and then have a little bit left over so that they can have like a box for running, pack rush, or a box for running a limited event or something like that. So
Yeah.
it's so nice when it happens that way. I just have to
Yeah.
say.
It's kind of serendipitous because, like, I think at the beginning we were kind of just in it to open the cards and collect,
Hmm.
but that sort of system encouraged us to go to the game stores. And for me, I was really nervous at first to even show up and like meet people, and I was afraid of looking like a noob or looking dumb. But we ended up going and having a good time meeting people, playing like really slow, casual games, just trying to get our
Nice.
points, like using theme decks and certain cards. So that brought us into the community, and we just like rolled from there. The only time we started thinking about competitive is when they announced the Stitch set championships, and I was like,
Okay.
we need to get that card, so we need to learn how to play.
Nice, nice. So how long was it between like when you heard that announcement and when you just like felt ready to sit down and tackle the set champs?
I don't know. This was what, set three,
Yeah.
so I think we went all of set two pretty casually, and then set three was when we started thinking about playing a little bit more like seriously.
Hmm.
So I think, Monica, you were playing Ruby Amethyst, and she took those colors. So I decided I needed to pick different colors, which was I started off with Amber Steel.
Makes
But after
sense at the
some,
time. Yeah.
so it was like these two decks are pretty good. Eventually, I drifted from Amber Steel and I wanted to play Amethyst Steel. We had enough of the bounce package to go around, so I was like, we could both play Amethyst. And Amethyst Steel was the deck I ended up winning the Stitch Champion mat with, and that kind of kicked off our competitive journey. As that was my only goal, was to get the card for the Stitch card,
Hmm.
but I ended up winning um, the whole set champs at Fire and Dice, which was the most competitive store in the area. So it was like, holy crap, am I actually good at this game?
Yes, yes, you are. For
Yeah, and
the
like doing this. Oh,
oh, sorry. By the way, for the audio only listeners, Patrick just pointed casually to the Stitch map that just happens to be behind them. Sneaky, sneaky. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
but yeah, like that was Patrick's experience with the Stitch Lorcana like competitive scene, and I was like with him for all of those Stitch set champs, and that that whole experience just went the other way for me. I was like, this is too much. This is like 6 hours of straight gameplay. Like my brain can't like function. I was like, maybe I'm not good at this game to like go through the endurance of just like playing games back to back. So I think at this point I was like, oh, I think I know my place in the Lorcana side of like Lorcana Sphere, so I'll be like, I'm a more casual player. Like I enjoy League and like getting those points, but um, eventually after like that experience, it also ignite like a fire in me. Where I'm like, I think I could do this though, but I just need like time. Like
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
just
yeah.
it. Just like dropped me in like so deep in the deep end. Like I like never played more than I think like 4 games at this point, like in a day.
Mm-hmm.
So just having like I think 6 rounds plus top cut. I didn't even understand what top cut was at this
All
point.
right.
Yeah. So, um, yeah, the Stitch experience was just like really daunting, but like it did ignite something in me. But it
Nice.
definitely just took time.
Just took a little longer to get there, right? You know, still
Yeah.
still plant that seed, like you said. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Yeah, it's it's interesting to hear, and I'm assuming it sounds like this was y'all's first TCG experience. Have y'all played
Oh
anything else? Okay.
No,
no.
just casual like Yu-Gi-Oh games with my friends. Funny story: the first time we went to Fire and Dice
Hmm.
uh, for their weekly tournament, I lost my first round, and in round two I got the bye, and I didn't know what that meant. I thought they meant you lost so bad that you had to leave like bye.
Oh no! Oh
So I thought
no!
I was getting bullied. I was like, wow, was I really that bad that they're really sending me out? But I talked to like the people at the store, and they're like, "Oh no, it just means that there weren't enough people to like pair you with, so you're cool.
Mhm.
You'll have a pairing next round."
Yeah. Luckily, they told him because he would have went home.
Yeah.
That would have been awkward. They would have been like, "All right, pairings are up. Well, yeah, yeah." It's it's interesting. A lot of the people that I talk to, this is also their first TCG. And you don't realize when you've like if you've played other games, you've played Magic and I guess a little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh, so you kind of understand some of the terminology and everything. But for somebody completely new, there's all these terms that may or may not make sense, because there are a lot of things about it. Like, when I first started, it was similar. I was like, how do they calculate the rounds? How do they figure out, whose matches up with who? And, I was like, I have no idea, I just kind of was along for the ride. And I think a lot of people learn the same way as what y'all are talking about, where it's just kind of this slow growth into the game. And you realize, yes, I really enjoy the game and I really enjoy the people I'm playing the game with. And so you stick around and start learning that stuff. And now here you are, both competitive players, both participating in the DLC last weekend.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah. I never thought I would make it that far. With my top 16 finish, especially coming from someone who doesn't consider themselves competitive. Like we are part of a team, and a lot of our teammates and like even Patrick look at a lot of like meta reports and things like
Hmm.
that, or like watch gameplay. And I don't necessarily do all those things. I just basically have them tell me like give me a summarized version of it.
Hmm. Yep. Yep.
um, so the journey's definitely been really long. I mean, I went through all of season one without even like breaking anything further than the participation award, which was a
Okay.
Dragonfire.
Hmm.
So I did get those tickets when they added that in, but um, so just like the journey so far has been pretty crazy, and goes to show that I guess just showing up for yourself, the day could just be for you, and you'll just run with it all the way to the very end.
Yep. Yep. Definitely. So, how many other DLCs have y'all been to before this one?
We went to three. So we went
Okay.
to DLC Atlanta, DLC Las Vegas, and then DLC Seattle.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were supposed to go to DLC Texas, but we were the many people that got canceled flights on the way there.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That was an awful weekend. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
I felt
crazy.
bad for the organizers, losing that many people, but I mean,
Mhm.
it's kind of unavoidable. And now, with all the the shutdown stuff and everything, now air travel is just crazy. I'm glad it kind of, it like hit that sweet spot of happening right before everything kind of got chaotic. So it seemed like people had trouble, but not that much trouble. So, um, well, yeah, cool. So your first DLC event, you said Atlanta. Um, Kind of describe what it felt like to to walk into that room and be at an event like that versus just being at a set champs or something more local.
Yeah, it was pretty surreal just to have that many people playing Lorcana going over to a whole different city for us. Like a lot of us had to fly, get a hotel, and just even getting the tickets themselves for the event was a struggle.
Mm-hmm.
But it was amazing that how it all came together. I know a lot of people had some gripes with like I don't know the tournament software or the pairings or the side events, but for me, I had a really good time. I thought it was a lot of fun. Um, it was our first big event, so we didn't have anything to compare it to. So
Yeah.
for us, it was like, wow, this is amazing. This is awesome. This is uh, a weekend full of Lorcana. We get to play so many games. And I ended up bringing my Amethyst Steel, the same deck that I won the Stitch Set Champs win with, and I had some pretty good matchups and some good luck. Uh, Enough to get 4 wins and 5 draws in the 2 game format, which was enough
Nice.
for the let it go, but
Mm-hmm.
1 win short of making day two.
Oh,
I felt
so
really good about
close.
it. But I was like so close. So um, it feels a little bittersweet to be right on the that cusp, but I think for our first big event for our first TCG, I feel like that was a pretty good result.
Nice.
I walked into that like venue like so confused, like so why is there so many people here for like
Yep.
this TCG? I'm like I love this game, but like I never realized how big it was until I walked into that room, and I was like, wow, we really just went to this convention center with no windows, ready to play like eight rounds of like Lorcana and like not care about
Yep.
anything that happens outside. And it felt good. Like we went just the two of us, but then we ended up running into like 3 or 4 people from our local group
Oh,
that were
nice.
there. So that's kind of like the beginning of like our little like group slash eventually evolved into our team. Um, Now for season two. But yeah, I think we were with Lore Gaines, Alvin at the time, and it was before he was making content, and Mark, our other friend from our local game shop. So it was just nice seeing familiar faces, but also meeting new friends along the way. Like I was kind of scared, like going into like this field of like new players I've never played before. Like I see the same people every week. Like I know they're like friendly competitors, like friendly opponents, but like I'll never know. And heard horror stories from other people in like other TCGs, especially as a woman in like TCG. Like I was
Yep.
afraid. I got warnings to like always make sure I stand up for myself. Make sure they're not gonna take advantage of the situation. But everyone was amazing. Like everyone was super nice, so it definitely gave a good first experience, and then that's kind of how we ended up like signing up for the remaining DLCs also.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, it's funny how many people I talked to that were in Atlanta. I was there too, and it's like all these people were there, and I had no idea who half them were, and so I didn't like say hi or anything. But now I get to talk to them, and have great conversations. So, um, all right, so let's flash forward to Milwaukee then. What was the experience like? How was it different between them? Was it just a little bit more like comfortable? Were you, I mean, obviously you knew more what to expect, but they're different experiences. So what did y'all feel was different about them?
I think it ran well compared to Atlanta, like the first DLC of that season and then this first DLC of this season. I think it ran much more like smoother. I think um, the side events I wasn't in them, but the Atlanta side events were just like really tough day two. I remember standing in that line just confused for
Yeah.
hours.
Yep.
So I think definitely side events improved. I liked how the food and drinks were like in the venue versus like at the Atlanta it was like you had to walk out and like
Yeah, go
I
back up
wasn't
the
sure about
escalators 2 floors and fight the
yeah.
the anime convention crowds and yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So that was a good difference. And then I think, well, this is just for like our experience, like with the whole year of like going to these like Lorcana events, we've got a good community around
Mhm.
fellow content creators, um, local group or even like internet friends. So after being a year in that community, Milwaukee just felt like home, kind of, where you're just
Yeah,
like, hey, like every turn, every corner, you're just like saying hi and talking to someone new. So definitely less intimidating, much more fun, and it was just a great experience overall.
Yeah,
nice.
I think with each DLC we get more and more comfortable, and walking through the doors, there's like no pressure or no anxiety that I used to get. And this time we had essentially our team together, the Emperor's New Crew, so which is
Hmm.
our local team. I wouldn't say we're super competitive. I think it's literally just like a couple of our stores locals that we all said, hey, let's grab some jerseys and just like cheer each other on, and
Nice.
that's what happened. So it was nice to be able to travel with friends and meet up with other friends that we don't get to see too often. Um, and for me this time, I really did want to try and make like the day two.
Hmm.
I brought Amethyst Sapphire, a deck
Hmm.
list that
Okay.
one of our team members put together. I decided to just take his because I really trust his judgment, his deck building, and his insights. His name is Sean. Shout out to him. He's like the brain of the group. So we run all of our ideas by him and let us know. He'll let us know if it's like it makes sense or not. Um, so we both brought the same decks, and uh, as much as we tried, we only were able to get the Mulan promo.
Hmm.
But with the
Hey,
team, we were all cheering on Monica like all the way. Like every
yeah.
round, it's like came back to you and be like, "Let's go, Monica, let's go."
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the pictures of like the whole team standing off on the side and her like, focused and locked in on whatever round it was she was playing. So yeah, that was really cool. How many people do you think from the team came this time?
I think it was like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
It's a
So,
good chunk.
but there's like
There's also like 25 of us.
20 something
Oh,
of us with jerseys, and about
wow.
8 of us were able to go. Yeah.
Okay. That's a
Yeah,
pretty
so you'll
good
see
sized
more of us.
team.
Yeah, no, like yeah, if you saw all the pictures from that weekend, like by day two, or like by the time everyone dropped from their main tournament, I felt like I just had like bodyguards like the whole weekend. And
Nice.
it's like the like I think the funniest part was like thinking my top 16 match. I was kind of late to my match, so I didn't
Hmm.
hear the announcement. And then but I like refreshed my phone and I saw like, oh, the matches were up. So I was like packing up my stuff and like trying to get myself to get over to the top 16. But Alvin and like a bunch of people in our crew was just like, no, don't worry about it. You just need to go sit down so you'll like count as like you're there. And
Hmm.
then they were packing my stuff and then like I sat down on my top 16 table to across Dylan Brown, and then he just saw me like get my mat laid out in front of me. They delivered my deck box, my notepad, my pen.
Here you are. Here you are. Yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
he probably thought I was like crazy. Like I had like an entourage,
Yeah, I was
and
gonna say. Yeah.
yeah, it's like kind of they were like talking about how it's like boxing, where they were like do my sweat towel and everything.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but yeah, the crew's like super supportive like throughout the whole weekend. I mean, we all just like cheer each other on, um no matter like what the outcome is. So it's a
Mm,
super fun group to be in.
nice. Nice. Yeah, it's got to be nice to have like the support of a team and people that are going to have your back regardless, right? They're not there just to support you if you win. They're there to be there for the highs and the lows. So, yeah, that's really cool to have. So Monica, remind me, what did you play? I kind of
Oh, I played Amber Steel.
Amber Steel. That's right. Was it the
Played
aggro or is
Yeah, it was actually Sky's CCQ deck that he won
that's right. That's
PPG,
right.
PPG Denver with. And yeah, I didn't play much this set. So when Sky won, I was like, oh, perfect. I'll just like play that deck in locals.
Mm-hmm.
And then didn't play much in locals. And then next thing I know, DLC Milwaukee is like Friday. And I'm like, okay, so I could either learn Blurple, which is what everyone else is running right now,
Yikes.
or I
Yeah.
could just like I'll take it easy and I'll like play the Amber Steel that I know. I won't change
Mm-hmm.
nothing. It still had spends in it.
Oh,
I was like,
okay.
yeah, I'll just. My goal was 3-0 drop, get the Mulan promo and like rest, and then like cheer on the rest of the team. But the weekend happened and didn't lose. I said I got 3-0 and I was like, okay, maybe I'll drop. And then my team's like, no, don't do it. Like I know you're tired, but like just play one more game. And I was like, okay, I'll play one more game. And then I was like, okay, I'll play until I lose a game. And then next thing I know, it's like 8-0, and I'm like, I can't believe this just happened to me.
That was
Like,
so awesome too. Just watching it, like watching the posts come out on y'all's y'all's socials about all the each round and it just stacking up, and it was crazy because like you could feel even outside of y'all's team, you could feel kind of this energy around it with other people. They're like, wait, did you see Monica? Did you so like other people posting about it, like random people that I had never heard of or seen before were posting about it. So it was really cool. It was it was great to see the wider community kind of rally around you too.
yeah, no, everyone was so amazing during that weekend. Like, everyone was congratulating me, and like, like strangers would come up and then be like, yeah, like I love how you're playing, you're representing women. And I was like, oh heck yeah, like I'm super excited about. I was like, I hope I don't disappoint you though, because I like did not expect to make it this far. But the energy was like unreal. Like I remember that weekend, or like Saturday going to Sunday, like I just felt the energy throughout like all the rounds. And then every time like I finished a round, I like everyone random people be like, is it good, is it bad? And I was like, yeah, it's good, we're good. And then even like towards the end of the night, when like the DLC is over, like everyone's getting dinner,
Hmm.
it's like the community in the Philippines woke up. So they
Oh
realized, and I
yeah.
was like getting messages from there, and I was like, oh man, internationally too, like this is crazy. Like I'm so happy to represent like the Philippines community too. And yeah, no, it was just like unreal. Like it just kept going though, and I definitely did not sleep well in between Saturday and
Yo,
Sunday.
I have no doubt. What time did y'all end up finishing up the first day?
I think it was like 9:30 to 10, right?
Yeah, I think you
Okay,
finished.
that's not as late
You
as I
got
thought.
out of there
But
maybe like at 10.
But I was playing aggro, so like I definitely left before the round was finished.
yeah. It's like, okay, I'm all good. See you guys tomorrow. Nice.
Yeah. And, like we didn't even go anywhere. We wanted to go out with like our team dinner, and we are just like, oh no, I'll just Uber eat something, some
Yeah.
pizza,
Yep.
and then try to sleep. But like I don't know, the messages were still like overflowing, so
Yeah.
I was like, I'm too excited. I'm gonna reply to everybody. I'm gonna
There's
Hmm.
try to.
comments from like all over the world, like Italian, like Lumineers and French, Philippines. Like
Yeah,
you're getting messages and cheers from everybody, which was amazing. Like we didn't realize how many people were watching or following Monica until like we got all those messages, and it was really heartwarming.
Hmm.
yeah, definitely pushed me to keep going. I was ready to 3-0 drop, but the power of the community like got me so hyped. I was like, I'm just super excited to try to win this for everybody,
Yep.
and I did somewhere right there.
Yep. There it
There.
is, right up there, hiding in the top corner.
Yeah.
Nice. So I'm curious, for the decks y'all were playing, what were the most difficult matchups that y'all kind of came up against during that day one?
Day one for me, it was usually the Blurple mirror match where
Hmm.
I felt some of the draws for on my side were just not lining up, while theirs were a little bit more favorable. The biggest surprise to me though was in my round two. I faced against Emerald Sapphire, so
Hmm.
it was
Okay.
the ramp into Under the Sea and Big Bodies deck. I lost game one, and then game two I was on the play, and I felt really comfortable and way ahead in that game.
Mm-hmm.
I got my monstro out and like took out three of their characters, and it still survived with 7 damage on it. So I was like, I cleared their board. I have a wide board. Um, I'm chilling. But surprise, next turn they played Go Go, got 7 lore off of my monster, and I was like, I didn't know I was supposed to play around Go Go. Green
Yikes.
Blue usually does not play Go Go, but apparently
No.
this weekend they started putting it in. Um, so I ended up losing game two as well. So I opened the day with 2 losses, which is pretty brutal in a format where 2 losses is the most you could have
Yep.
to get into day two. I did win 3 games after that, so I was like, okay, this is where I'm coming back. Um, and I got the Mulan, and then I think in round, what is that, 6?
Yeah.
It was another mirror match where the draws were just not on my side. I ended up taking the loss in that one, and that's where my run ended. Um, I can't say like I wasn't disappointed, but I think me watching Monica climb the ranks, like it overshadowed any feelings of just like disappointment in myself. I was just like, okay, I'm free to drop and just now focus on Monica and do anything I can to support her.
Nice.
And then for me, like I said, like I haven't played too much this set, so I was familiar with like the common decks, like Purple. A lot of our locals play that, so sometimes I'll just sit next to Patrick and just watch him play. Um, but yeah, what surprised me the most was Dogs, which was actually my first loss in day two, which is against Diego Saz, double 9001. And I had to read some of those cards that he was playing. Like I had no idea what I was walking myself into. Like I remember Turn of Dogs from the set before, but it's like slightly
Yeah.
different. But yeah, a lot of the effects are on the play. So by the time I was reading it, it already happened to me. So I was like,
Yep.
oh no.
Yep.
I did get one game off him because I just did like Amber Steel things and like
Yeah.
went past.
It just
Um,
plowed right on through. Yep.
yeah, but then the last 2 games, I was like, oh, this is what this deck does, and I don't think I can answer you anymore. And then um, Dogs is ultimately the other deck that I lost to in top 16,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, we shared each other's deck list. I opened the paper and I was like, yep, this might be the end of my run, but we'll hope for the best. And then I got O2'd. It was a difficult matchup. They're just like way more faster and they have Under the Sea. So
Yeah. Yeah.
at least
Well, and
this
especially
week,
if you're playing an aggro deck too, that's death right there. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So it was rough when I saw that paper. Where I was like, you know what, it's a crazy run, and at least I lost only to my bad matchup, which I'll take
Yeah.
because it's supposed to statistically happen, right? So I was like, yeah, I could be comfortable with that or accepting that.
Nice. Nice. Well, and now you're headed to Continentals. So that's going to be a whole different ball game there.
Yeah.
Do you think that you might stick with the same kind of approach, the same kind of deck, or do you think you're going to switch up to just try something else?
I mean, just reading the cards from Whispers, I feel like everything we know is just going out the window.
Yep. Yep.
So I will have to reevaluate. I used to be a control player, so I played Ruby Amethyst last season. I got to my Continentals invite with this aggro deck.
Mhm.
So I'm pretty comfortable with trying different things, but so I'll just wait till the time comes and then I'll decide from there. Hopefully, I'll have more practice than this past run. I mean, I'm not complaining. I still had an amazing run, but with Continentals, I plan to hopefully practice with the team more and
Mm-hmm.
listen to our buddy Sean and all his wisdom, and then go from there. Uh, Hopefully, I'm just hoping for a good time. I'm just happy to be there, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, obviously you earned it, you deserve it. So But to be at that level is just, it's like a whole nother kind of step up from, from just the DLC. It seems like, I don't know, I guess it's almost like, in my opinion at least, the jump from a set champs to a DLC seems similar to the DLC to Continentals. And then, like there's that wide gap between them. And so, to bridge that gap, you really have to have the talent and you really have to know what you're doing. And so, I mean, clearly you've got it. So,
Yeah, and I'm super excited. I had a great time at Continentals last time. Like, I mean, I got limited first round CCQ pod or LC. What was it? Last chance qualifier LCQ pod.
mm-hmm.
I got eliminated first round, and I was like, all right, that's it. But like, the whole weekend was still super fun. So like, even just going at a 10D was fun. So I bet being a competitor is like a whole other level of just experience.
Yep. Yep. Definitely. Well, you mentioned Whispers in the Well. That kind of bridges over to one of the other topics that I wanted to talk to y'all about. I saw that y'all recently got some advanced product, and were able to post about it on your socials and all that kind of stuff. So, tell me a little bit about like your content creation journey. It looks like you started back in like 2024 ish. I guess around Rise of the Floodborn. So why start it? Why create the? I guess you're primarily Instagram, right? Is
Yeah,
that fair? Okay.
yeah, yeah. We
Um,
started.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
So why start it up?
Well, I started that Instagram mainly because I didn't want to keep flooding our friends and family on my Instagram with pack openings. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure they've seen enough early morning release lineups. They've seen enough pack openings of first chapter and Floodborn, and I was like, you know what? I'll have like a separate space dedicated to this. And if I don't know if you can still see it, but like if you scroll back, it's me just ripping packs, as us
Yeah.
ripping packs. 'Cause we first initially started out as collectors, chasing that iconic, enchanted Elsa. I guess I can't call it iconic now because there's now iconics,
Yeah.
but
Now technically, yeah.
the enchanted Elsa. So
Hmm.
um, that's where I just wanted to be. Like I watched a lot of people rip Pokemon packs, and I was like, I could do this for Lorcana. Like it's pretty fun.
Hmm.
And then I looped in Patrick and involved in my shenanigans.
Yeah, a lot of it was just kind of for us to document our journey and our pack openings. But as we got more and more involved with the community and our local game stores, it was like, oh, we played at our LGS, so we'll post about that.
Hmm.
We opened this card, so we post about that. Or,
Mhm.
um, yeah, and then we played at Set Champ, so we post about that. So uh, for whatever reason, we started gaining a following that we didn't expect, and we started getting like noticed by other content creators like Rebecca Quest,
Hmm.
and from there, the community started like bringing us up. And when we first went to another LGS for the first time, and someone said, "Hey, that's LorcanaDuo," that kind of really hit us. It was like,
Nice.
wow, people are actually out here, following us and starting to recognize us. So that was really crazy, a
Yeah,
crazy feeling for us.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's kind of like, it's a nice level of validation to be like, oh, okay, we're doing something that people like, that they feel comfortable enough, like walking up to you and saying, hey, I appreciate the content. I love your stuff, um, and as a fellow content creator that hasn't experienced that, um, I can imagine it is like I said, that certain level of validation, and I know that not everybody, that's not what they're looking for. They're looking to do it because they enjoy it, and that's a huge aspect of it. You have to enjoy creating the content, otherwise you're not going to keep doing it, right? Um, but yeah, it's cool to hear people talk about that. I've had other people, that have had, they started their content creation journey similarly. They just kind of, randomly started it and said, hey, I want to do this. And now they go to DLCs and they get recognized and everything. And it's really, it's cool to hear about that journey and how that's grown over time. Um, So I'm curious. I've seen y'all have done some long form content too, right? Like over on YouTube, a little bit longer stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
is it that you prefer the shorter content, short form content, or is it just that you just haven't done as much long form stuff?
For me, I definitely prefer short form. It's a little bit easier to edit and post. Long form, we're still trying to get the hang of it. For at least filming the content, and then we have to spend time watching it back and then editing.
Yeah.
It takes up a lot of time, and it's not something that I feel like I would do often. Um, I know as we're like considered content creators, there's that sort of pressure to keep putting out content, but I never
Hmm.
wanted this to be sort of like a second job or feel any pressure from it. So we're still gonna just post the content that we're like comfortable making. I still prefer short form. It's just a little bit easier to kind of get the point that I want across quicker,
Hmm.
and a lot easier for me to edit. It's a little bit less time consuming because I'll usually spend maybe an hour editing a short form, while the long form, for whatever reason, takes me like a whole day or like half a day.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Shout out to all the YouTubers out there. Like, that is a lot of invisible work
Yeah,
that goes into a bunch of their content. And yeah, so I think it's for us, like, I guess we haven't really dove into long form, so I guess our workflows aren't as quick, I guess. So it not only takes us a really long time, like, and we never came from a content creator background either, so short form
Mm-hmm.
still takes a while to kind of figure out what works, what doesn't work. But yeah, right now we're also just pretty like life always gets in the way. So we try what we can, but short form is definitely where we lean towards because I think I'm also just like a fan of TikTok. Like I love scrolling through.
Yeah. Yeah. It sucks you
So
in. It's crazy.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like I feel like that's what I like consume. So that's also what I want to like produce out of it, like certain trends, certain, um, music or like formats. I'm
Hmm.
just like, oh, okay, I saw this in a video. Like that's my inspiration for our short form content.
yeah,
Nice.
and yeah, content creation is still, I feel like it's still pretty new to us. So we are always learning new things and learning new ways to edit videos and film things. So um, for those aspiring to be content creators, like you can just make something and push it out. You'll learn and get better as you go. Like you don't, nothing has to be perfect right off the bat, which is something that I struggle with especially. I always feel like I need to take a lot of time to make sure everything's perfect. But if you want to get anything done, you kind of just have to just push it.
Yeah, and we're lucky that there's two of us because
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
one of us is busy. We're just like, okay, you got it. Like you
Yeah.
could make something. So we definitely have that cheat code here that we could tag team at least.
Yeah.
Nice. So, do y'all usually, and I've noticed a lot of your content is just kind of this like, it feels like it's like spur of the moment, like, we're just going to be documenting what's going on, or what we're doing or something. It's not like you're sitting down and saying, okay, we're going to post about this next week and we're going to, start this series or whatever the week after or anything. Is that fair to say that y'all just kind of like, sounds like you just go with the flow and kind of whatever pops up and seems interesting, you create some content about it?
Oh yeah, that's pretty right on the dot. We definitely want to, keep having fun with this hobby and knowing us, we both kind of like once something gets a little bit too much pressure, it's like automatically becomes work for us, and that's
Hmm.
like not something we want Lorcana to be in our life. It's a good escape. It's a good community. Like we just want to showcase that through all of our content. Like yeah, we definitely don't want to treat it like a scheduled thing that we have to do. I think the only thing that's pretty consistent is like we go to our weekly league once a week, and then content just kind of starts forming. So we get inspiration from anything that comes up, like for example, the DC8 promos
Mm-hmm.
that came up. So we're like, okay, that's perfect. Like we'll just film some stuff and then like create content from there. but we never go out or like kind of sit down and plan like this week we'll do a long form, next week is like short form, or like specific topics. It's whatever is like tingling our brains is what's gonna come out in
Okay.
our Instagrams, or like any other platform. It's what
Yeah.
I think is a good summary of how it works for us. But I don't know, Patrick, you.
Yeah, I think for us that is pretty much how we started. Is whatever we're working on or doing at the time becomes our content. It's just
Mm-hmm.
what we did and what we want to share with the community. Um, if ever we get to like pre-planning content, it'll probably be long form. So like, for example, the box rips, like definitely that's something like, okay, we're gonna do this, we're gonna film it, and then we're gonna edit it and post it.
Mm-hmm.
But everything else like deck techs, those are based off of how we did at locals or at a tournament. So yeah, everything is just based off of our own experience. Nothing usually predetermined.
Yeah, if I go 0-3 in locals, there won't be a deck tech on that one. It
Hey, sometimes it's good to learn
could
about,
be.
people failing too. It's okay. It's, we all do. I mean, you know.
We'll post it.
Well, cool. So I'm curious, as just kind of a behind the scenes kind of thing. What is your usual like workflow for this stuff? I mean, obviously there's the filming piece and the editing piece, like that. But like on an average for an average reel or something, what's kind of the process that y'all go through for it?
So for me, I think a lot of what uh, our followers like look forward to are the deck techs. So what I'll do is, and this is something I just do naturally, is that I change my deck and change my colors a lot. So one week I'll do amber steel, next week I'll probably can do like blurple, and the next week I'll do amber emerald. So for a time, it was week after week. I would build a deck, play it at locals, and report on it on the socials. So
Mm-hmm.
whether I go 2-1 or 1-2 or 3-0 at locals, I'll showcase the deck. Like I played Amber Emerald, I went 3-0 at locals, and this is the deck. So then I'll start just filming the deck and like talking through some of the cards. And a lot of people have come up to me and told me like how helpful those deck techs are. It
Nice.
inspires them to put together a deck, try it out. So that pushes me to keep making those. I haven't been on top of it lately just because of life and
Been
being in
a little
between.
busy. Yeah.
Yeah, just a little busy. But essentially, that's how it goes. It's at least for the deck techs. Anything other than deck techs, like events, um, I'll take clips with our DJI camera
Mm-hmm.
as we're going. So you'll see that in like the DCA promo, and then we're also having a pre-release for Whispers at our local store, which is a midnight release. We have two artists that's going to be there signing cards, and
Oh,
we're doing
nice.
at midnight. So I'll have my camera and like film some clips throughout, and then probably the day after I'll gather all the clips, put it into an edit through like CapCut, and just talk over it
Mm-hmm.
and talk about the experience. And a lot of the followers enjoy seeing that too. Just the community having fun at events, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, so I guess in our workflow, we don't really have like storyboard anything. Like we don't have a timeline like in our brains.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we do unconsciously, but
Okay.
I think our goal for every like not that type video, but it's mainly just like record as much as you can. We'll figure it out later.
Yeah. 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 Always good to have
And then
more content or more source material than not enough. Yeah.
not, yeah, exactly. So that's kind of the approach. And then for me, I do like still collecting. So I'll give updates on my collection. Like I think my last post included like all the epics from the last set.
Hmm.
So sometimes it includes like videos of me trading with people, and that's just like spur of the moment, like trading with friends. So yeah, again, it's just like more so just us actively recording our experience in like Lorcana the community, and then whether or not we have enough clips to make a video, that's kind of where the content starts forming from there.
Okay. Okay. Makes sense. Cool. Yeah, I'm always really curious to hear kind of the process behind it. You talk to people about like, oh yeah, I make these kind of videos or something, but you don't think about how much preparation and how much planning and stuff can go into some of these. And and you're right, those long form ones like the deck in depth, deck reviews and everything, those take a lot of time. That's
Mhm.
that's a lot of editing,
Yeah,
and
especially
multiple takes too. So yeah.
right. Yeah, especially when I think initially we thought like when we got into content creation like more seriously,
Hmm.
we did try to do like, have a schedule. We tried to like make like kind of like scripts or like general outlines,
Hmm.
and what we come to quickly realize it never goes that way, and it just made it more stressful and much
Yeah.
more frustrating. So we realized like that couldn't work with our workbook, because then we're just like, oh no, this bullet point, we did not get a clip for it, and then we just started fixating on too many things, and we're just like,
Yeah.
okay, let's look out the window, like let's just go with the flow and see where it goes. And I guess so far it's been pretty good.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I mean, I love the content that you guys put out. It's always nice to be scrolling through Instagram and stuff and see it pop up. There's always something fun, I'll have to say. So, well, and some of your recent stuff, like I mentioned, was about whispers. So I'm curious, since y'all have gotten a little bit of a look at it. I mean, obviously we all have seen all the cards, but it's a little different with cards in hand. What's your kind of your first impressions of it?
The whisper spoiling is great. Like
Yeah.
that's like my number one. Like I could not get over it. I kept like playing with it. I don't know if you could tell. I really like shiny things. Like I really like shiny
You're
things in my
playing
game.
the right game for that. So yeah.
Yeah. So when I saw the whisper spoiling and noticed it was like different than the starter deck foiling and
Hmm.
then the normal foiling, I'm just like, oh no, this is like another thing I wanna collect and have. So I think that was like my first impression of Whispers Noel. That's like the whisper foiling is like amazing and much better in person, because like on the I think on the like main stages and everything, like you see a picture of it, but you don't really see how much of like the movement or like the different patterns
Hmm.
until you see it in person. So I think that's like my number one thing right there.
Yeah.
Nice.
For me, it was the Sleepy Hollow cards because
Yes.
when
Yeah.
we got the booster box, none of that IP was revealed yet. So as we were going through it, I was just getting more and more surprised about what was actually in this set. So the headless horseman, and then there was like headless man horse, which kind of like
Yeah. Yeah.
which got me. I was like, what the heck is this? But yeah, it's such a nice surprise, and it fit the season perfectly.
Hmm.
Um, it's a shame that it didn't release on Halloween because that would have been
I
awesome to open
know that would have been perfect timing.
up pumpkins everywhere.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think the IP that they included was awesome. Just like gargoyles, Edge's Sleepy Hollow, and what was the other one? Black Cauldron.
Yeah. Black
Yes.
Cauldron. Yeah.
So all these cards kind of like build up the theme in whispers, and it's very cohesive and really fun to just go through the cards and see the spooky stuff, and all the other characters being detectives trying to solve this mystery. I'm a fan of all the lore and the backstory, so
Hmm.
um, we still need, even though we got the booster box, a few of the lore cards to piece together. So looking forward to the release date where we get to rip more packs, get more cards, and
Nice.
learn a little bit more.
Nice. So kind of looking at the cards and looking at the I guess the full set and some of the ones that y'all have gotten already. Are there any like deck ideas or any kind of things that y'all are thinking about testing out?
Yeah. So our local store lets us use test cards in the
Mm-hmm.
weeks leading up to the release. So I put together an Amber Emerald, I call it Big Dogs deck, because it's not very aggro. It's more focused on having your characters sing like Circle of Life to bring bigger characters in. You can
Mm-hmm.
use the Whisper Simba to summon things off the top of your deck. And it also combos with the mean and scary card, the one that puts damage on the board, and then you get to Circle of Life Prince Philip onto the board, and
Yep.
it just board wipes. So that's what I call big dogs.
Nice. Nice. You'll have to share that list. I'll be interested to see that one. So,
Oh yeah, definitely. I'll put together a deck tech. I'm sure it likes people like to see it.
nice.
What about you? Do you have any decks that you're interested in?
Oh man, there's like so many cards, like even uncommon commons, like are like super good, and I can't even imagine like building a deck. I mean, also off the bat, like I gotta confess, Patrick builds all my decks, so I'll do whatever he tells me to do,
There you go.
and
There
I
you
trust
go.
his building skills.
All right. So if if I'm gonna build a deck for you for week one, it's probably gonna be Amethyst Steel,
Okay.
and you want to have your like Demonas, maybe a couple Hades. A lot of the new Steel cards have good stats. Lexington is a gargoyle. It's a 4/4 for 3 cost, and then there's the Black Heron, I think, which is a 2 cost 3/3. Big stats. You fill the board with big stats, big stat characters, and then Demona comes in that exerts the other side of the board, and your big guys rush into the
Mm-hmm.
to the other side. Yeah.
Nice.
Yep, feature deck tech for that one too.
Yeah, that sounds like fun, actually. I might have to look into that one myself. That looks cool, or sounds cool. So- Well, cool. Well, let's see. What is there anything that we haven't covered? No, I think that's probably all I wanted to touch on. So, thank y'all for being on. I do end these with the last 4 questions that I ask everybody. Um, so, and I gave you these beforehand, so hopefully you thought about them a little bit, or are really good at answering things on the spot. Either way. Um, so first off, favorite ink and card right now for each of y'all.
I'll let Patrick go first.
All right. If it's me first, my favorite ink is probably Emerald. It just feels like the color that can do anything. Um, my favorite card is Pull the Lever, just because
Nice.
Emperor's New Groove and Kronk is just hilarious. But my card to play right now and in my past sets is probably Clarabelle, just because she's just a great comeback mechanic and really annoying for opponents to play around.
Yep.
Yeah, she's been my girl for like the past like 3 or 4 sets.
Hey, solid card,
Yep.
Yep, and for me, it's Ruby. Started with Ruby Amethyst, and I just enjoyed like, well, back then, board wives,
Yep.
Maui, Russian, like all the big scary stuff, like just dominating. So it definitely felt nice, especially as a beginner, to be like Dragonfire. Sorry, board wife.
Sorry, not sorry. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's my favorite color, and then although I think the Ruby's kind of changing in identity, uh, but currently still my favorite. And then for my favorite card, it's got to be Powerline, and mainly
Mm.
because like Ravensburger released the art video for Powerline, and that was just like amazing to see. And so having that lore and like that background behind the card and how it was developed, like just like automatically made it my favorite card. I also really love the Goofy movie and like Powerline and specifically Max Powerline. So like it just like came together. I was like, yep, that's my favorite card.
Nice. Nice. Cool. All right, next question. Favorite Disney movie and why?
I could go for this one. So I do like the Goofy movie a lot,
Mm-hmm.
but since that's already in Lorcana, I'm also gonna add on Meet the Robinsons. Um,
Okay.
Meet the Robinsons. I love the dinosaurs. Like I got a big head and little arms,
Yep.
but also I just love the story behind the whole like movie, and it's basically just keep moving forward. So like, no matter what happens, you just gotta go with the flow and push through, which is kind of our like. I mean, our Lorcana journey, and just like we'll just figure it
Yeah.
out. We'll figure it out when we get there, and just keep moving forward. So I really enjoyed the story behind that whole movie, and like Goob is such a funny character. Like I love Goob, and like Halloween weekend for some reason my whole feed was like people dressed up as Goob, so I couldn't be
Oh,
happier.
really?
Yeah,
That's kind of funny. It's kind of random, but
yeah, it's like people dressed up as Goob, and they're like, if I didn't drop the ball, I wouldn't have friends or something like that. So it was just like super funny, and yeah, that whole movie's just great. So if no one's seen it, like, highly recommend.
yeah, it's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. My favorite's Big Hero 6. I'm just a big Baymax fan. I love the story in the movie and all the characters. Um, just hits you in the feels, you know, there's like
Mm-hmm.
loss and regret and revenge and coming to terms with life and, you know, having that support system around you, your friends who will bring you up, um, and just having that you know, conclusion in the end. He still gets Baymax back, so
Yeah.
happy endings.
So you're saying the Go Go against your Monstro didn't spoil the movie for you?
It hurt a lot, but coming from the guy that's usually playing the Go Go, I understand.
Yep. All right, that's fair. That's fair. All right, cool. Okay, so give a shout out to your favorite LGS or LGSs that y'all play at.
Well, we have our three. So, Fire and Dice and Bear Cave. They're both two amazing stores. The stores that we started out with, and the stores that sponsored our jerseys. Thankfully, so we rep their logos on our sleeves. And then special shout out to BGE also, which is just one of the most wholesome stores that you can go to. It's very like lighthearted, and I don't want to say casual, but it's like more social. Like we're not taking
Mm,
things too seriously there. You can walk in and just have a good time. You don't even need to bring a deck because like someone else is gonna like give you something to play with, and we'll play multiplayer there all the time.
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, I love how each store has its own like feel to it, and like it's just like having those three around us is just like a great balance, and we do our rounds every week.
Nice, nice. Yeah, it's cool to be in an area where you can play, basically any night that you really want to. So that's nice. Okay, cool. And last but not least, tell people where they can find you, your content, and where they can watch your competitive journey as you move forward towards continentals and everything.
Of course, we are Lorcana Duo, no space, just Lorcana Duo on Instagram, TikTok, X, and YouTube. We mostly focus on Instagram and TikTok for short form videos, but we're also branching into long form on YouTube. So, most recently, we posted our box break for Whispers in the Whale, and you can expect to see more content there for Whispers. Also, we have some trove openings and some pack rushes that we're trying to edit and post.
Nice, nice, cool. Well, I look forward to seeing those. But yeah, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time tonight to sit down with me and just chat. I always enjoy getting to talk with members of the community and getting to know them a little bit. So yeah, I
Yeah, of
appreciate you.
course. Love talking Lorcana. So thank you for having us, Chris.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
an honor to join your podcast or like video cast. So we're always happy to join. So if you want us back, we'll be more than happy to come
Oh
back.
yeah,
We've been so
absolutely. I mean,
so we'll do a report.
you can basically count on it after Continentals and everything. So we'll catch up. Don't worry. All right,
Awesome.
cool. Well, thanks again, and we'll see you around the community.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, thanks for listening in on my chat with Patrick and Monica. I hope you enjoyed getting to know them as much as I did. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure you like, subscribe, or rate it on your platform of choice. If you'd like to find out more about the show, head over to lorcanachats.com, or you can email us directly at lorcanachats@gmail.com. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.